Welcome back to I think it's our 7th episode. I have had problems with Unity and the software that I use to record these videos. So this is a very delayed episode. We should actually be on like our 2nd episode or maybe even our 3rd episode of our 4th series. But we're not. We have to deal with our little bugs that we had, and then also the issues that I had with Unity. I had to update that, and sometimes it didn't work, so I had to delete the entire thing and reinstall it from scratch. But I think everything's working perfectly fine now. Hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully the stream doesn't cut out, which it did in the previous 2 times that I tried to stream. Well, try to record it. But I think let's jump into our desktop here, so we can see what we're gonna do. So for episode 7, we're just gonna go into Unity and just play the game quick and see what we have to fix, because it's been so long since I played this game and I don't actually know where we are. But I think, according to our plan, we need to fix our skull cloning, and then destroying the levels, and then also the camera relocation. So let's go ahead and see where we're at. So let's go ahead and play the game quick. While that builds, let's just check our scripts quick. They're all saved. Get rid of that. Okay, that's fine. So let's play the game and see where we are. Okay, so we need to fix that. But let's do that again so we can see if when we launch the skull, where does it go and what happens when it collides with stuff. So let us launch our skull. We'll just do it low so it collides with the zombie. Okay, so it's destroying a level, and then it respawns, or it puts in another level, the next level, which is fine. But it's putting it in the wrong place, so we'll try and figure that out. And then what we also want to do, after a few seconds, we want to go ahead and destroy the skull. So let's go ahead and try and figure out how to do that. So if we jump out of here, we can jump into our scripts and let us have a look. So game manager. So I think this is where we had the problem before, because if we go to, where is it? Was it game manager? No, it was here. Maybe start. No, not noticing. Explode. Create skull. Okay, no, looks like we didn't have that error. But anyway, how we're going to destroy the skull is we're actually going to create an entirely new script, and we will call this skull, and we are going to add that onto our skull prefab. So we'll open our skull prefab by double clicking on it, and it should open. And then once it opens, which is there, we can go to our skull here in the inspector, and we can add in a component, and there we go, we'll add in our skull script just like that. So we'll save that, and then we can go ahead and open the script that we just made. Then for now I don't think we need these, so we'll go ahead and delete that. And what we want to put in here is a on collision enter 2D function, and then in here all we want to say is if the collision dot game object first dot tag is not equal to floor tag, then we will go ahead and destroy the game object, because we want to destroy the game object that is attached to the script, which in this case is a skull. So let's go ahead and create a read-only string skull tag, and we'll make that equal to floor. And then we need to go ahead, no, sorry, not skull tag, we need to make that floor tag so that we can use it in our if statement. So let's go back to our scene, and what we have to do is we need to add our tag onto our floor. So if we open our level, no, not our level, sorry, because our level does not have a floor in it. If we open our floor, over here at the top, you just need to add, if you haven't added a tag, go ahead and select add tag, and then just select the plus icon, and then you can type in a new tag. But for ours, I think I must have done this in like a test, while I try and figure everything out. So I have added that in. So all we want to do is click on our floor, the one that's got the box collider on. We'll add in our floor tag to that, and then if we play the game, you should see that as soon as we hit the zombie or whatever we hit first, that's not the floor, will destroy. So that's fine. So that works, but let's see what this is now. Okay, so no reference exception, camera follow 29. So that is going to be our target. So we no longer have a target to focus on. So over here, this is where we are going to want to, whenever we launch our skull, we'll say after like maybe 1 or 2 seconds, we'll go ahead and put another one into our slingshot, so that when our skull does get destroyed, the camera still has something to focus onto, so the camera will move. The camera will shift onto the new skull that's currently sitting in the slingshot. So let us go and let's see where do we want to do this. Let's see, where do we slingshot? In here we create this is where we create our skull when we start, so that's there. That's good. So let's see, where can we do this? So over here, we'll do it in our on mouse up. So whenever we launch our skull, that is when we release our mouse button. So is launched is equal to true. And then after we release our mouse button and our skull gets slingshot into the level, we want to go ahead and create a new skull. So for this we can go invoke with a name, put that in the bracket, name of, and then create skull. We want to do this after 2 seconds maybe. So let's go ahead and see if that works. So now if we create, or if we play our game and we launch our skull, when we destroy the skull, or when the skull collides with something that's not the floor and it gets destroyed, the camera should, if everything is working, should refocus, which is not. So let's go and see. So if we, well, first of all, let's do this. Go out of there and then let us see if the skull is actually being placed into the slingshot. So let's see. We have this is the skull that we start the game with. So if we go ahead and just launch this, like, I don't know, like up far over the thing, over the level, so that we can see our skull is not actually being instantiated. So the next one that we call is not being created, and that is because in one of the previous episodes, I think it was, let's see, where was it? It must have been, I don't know, episode 3 or 4 maybe. We added in a restriction so that we could only have one skull in the scene at once. But for this game, we're going to change that. So we're only going to have a maximum of 2 skulls in the game, well, in the scene, sorry, at once. But we're only going to allow the player to use 1. So if we change that to, if the skull count is less than 2, then obviously we can create a new skull. So if we now go back into our game, we can play the game, and we can surely see that whenever we launch our skull, we should get a second skull being spawned. So let's see. Okay, that was a bit slow. So let's just launch it over the level so that we can see if this actually works. Otherwise, if it just hits everything that's not the floor, it's just gonna destroy. So we'll launch it over the level, and there we go. So our next skull is being spawned, but just to just to get rid of that error, we're just gonna go and launch it after 0.2 seconds. Just so we should get rid of that error. So let's see. So hopefully now, because that delay is very short, you should actually see the skull being spawned like as soon as you let go of the current skull that you're launching. So let us see if that works. So if we launch this, there you go. So you can see that the skull gets well, a new one gets positioned in the sling, and you saw that as soon as we destroyed our, or as soon as the skull collided with something, it actually went and repositioned the camera onto the new skull. So now you can basically just launch. You can just launch as many skulls as you want and keep destroying things. So, but we need to add in like a delay so that we can actually see what happens to the collision. So let us go into our skull here, and we can say we'll leave that like that, but we're going to create another method here, and we'll call this first of all, we'll say private void, because it's not going to return anything, and then private void destroy our skull. In here, all we want to do is destroy the game object, so we'll cut that out and paste that over there. And then instead of destroying our game object in this if statement, here we want to invoke a delay. So let's go and say invoke with the name of, and we called it destroy skull, and we want that to have a delay of let's just leave it as 1 for now. So that is going to destroy our skull 1 second after it collides with anything that is not the floor. So let's have a look at see what that looks like. So if we play our game, we can now launch our skull. Not like that. We also need to fix that, because if we just launch it, or if we make a mistake like that and just launch our skull, we're just gonna sit here and like nothing's gonna happen. So we need to fix that as well. So let's just restart that quick, and then we can see, hopefully we can launch this properly if it loads. We also need to fix the rotation of the skull, otherwise we'll see now. So let's launch this into our zombie. Or okay, we might want to make that, let's make that about 2.5 maybe. And I quickly want to just jump into our skull prefab and just fix that rotation, so that hopefully, well, let's try and fix that so that if we launch it, it looks like a skull the whole time and doesn't rotate slightly, so it looks like you're, I don't know how to explain it, but I'll show you now. So if you see it kind of disappears, we don't want that, so we'll try and figure that out. So let's go out of gameplay mode, and we can jump into our skull prefab. And then, where is it? Let's see, constraints is somewhere here on our rigid body. We are just going to freeze the rotation. So hopefully that will allow us to always see the skull how you should see it, and it doesn't kind of disappear because it's rotating. So now that we've disabled the rotation, hopefully, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, we'll have to figure out a different way to fix that. But for now, I think that looks fine. We are destroying the levels after about 2 seconds, so that's fine. Now we need to figure out how to destroy the skull if it collides with the floor after a few seconds. So we can probably just say else if collision.gameObject.tag is equal to the floor tag. Then we want to invoke invoke with the name of, let's see, with the name of what's called destroy skull. And then we want to do this after, we'll probably say about 5 seconds maybe. We might have to put that a bit lower. So we'll save that and just see what that looks like. So now, if you do make a mistake by launching the game, or sorry, not the game, if you make a mistake by launching the skull, and it just like jumps out of the slingshot onto the floor here, like I'm going to do now, just like that, it should get destroyed. There we go. And then the camera then focuses back onto the new skull, and then you can go ahead and destroy other things. Perfect. That's good. I probably want to make this, well, probably just make that 3, just so that you can see what happens. Especially if it's like a longer, if it's a bigger impact and things are still moving. So we'll leave that like that. So let's jump back into Notion and see what's next. So we fixed the skull cloning and destroying levels, that's fine, and we fixed the camera relocation, so that's fine. So that's it for this episode, but let's just go ahead and see if there's anything else we need to fix. So we do need to fix this issue of the location where the levels are spawning or being added onto the game. So let us have a look. So if we, first of all, let's just play the game and see where. In the previous videos we added in this level position. So this has been a bit slow, but we added in this level position to be like an anchor for, or like a reference for where we want the level to load into, and that is over. That's over there. So that's where our level should load, but it is actually loading over there, which is at the exact same coordinates, or x and y and z values, but it's not it doesn't appear like that. And then if I'll show you now. So if we go ahead and launch our skull and open our scene, you can see our next level gets spawned over there. But then if we click on our level 2, it still also has same values as the level position, which is not correct. So let us try and figure this out. So if we So all we need to do now is just figure out why this is happening. So if we go here and let's say Unity game object instantiate indifferent. So let's see. So as soon as we figured out how to spawn, or what's the word? How to instantiate our levels into one place, then all we've got left to do is our UI. So adding in like our score count, our lives count, and then also our in-game menus. So let's try and figure this out. Okay, so first of all, instantiate multiple game objects from one position and enter at another. Okay, so that's not what we want. So let's jump into our script here and say where is it? Should be on our game manager, and that's where we instantiate our level, which is right. So update if zombie count is equal to 0, we need to load in our new level. So instantiate position. Let's try local position, see if that works. And then I just want to go and say debug.log. We'll put this in just so we can see the position that our levels are spawning in. So So let's just get rid of that quick so we can see Unity over here. So if we go ahead and play our game, we probably won't get a printout, which is correct, but as soon as we destroy that level and spawn our next one in, we get a printout of the position, which is fine, and it is at the correct position, but it doesn't appear to be at the correct position. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. So maybe if we let's have a look at our skull slingshot, because that's in here. We also create the skull in our slingshot. So let's see. Okay, where is it? Game manager. Let's try that and see if it works, maybe. Don't know why things are slow, but let's go ahead and open up a new browser quick and see. Unity game object, not loading in correct location. Object not instantiating at the correct position. Let's see. Is the fire position child from moving back? Okay. So let's go back into Unity and let's just reset the position of our level position. So let's go ahead and reset that, and let us just see what happens now. So surely our level should spawn in different places, as if the game ever loads. So okay, so that's fine. So that loads there, but the second one is still loading that side, and then okay, so our third level is not loading for some reason. Let's have a look. Or is it? I bet you it's loading somewhere random in the game. So if we kill that guy, that gets destroyed. Cool. And then we can destroy our next one. If we can get to it. We try and destroy that zombie. There we go. So okay, so our new level, or level 3, is not loading into our game, so let's go and fix that. Okay, so levels, start, update, if load new level, if level index is less than 2, less than 3. So now that should, actually, do we need an S statement? Level index, instantiate levels at level index. I don't think we need that if statement. Let's go ahead and see. Or maybe we do. I don't know, we'll see. We'll play the game and see what happens. So play the game. Now we should get at least our level 3 loading in, although I think it's the same as level 2. Maybe just with a zombie in a different place. Okay, so now we can destroy that zombie if we can get there. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, so that's why we needed that, because we only have 3 levels. So we'll leave that there so that we when we finish the game, or when we destroy all the zombies in all 3 other levels, we can then pop up a game over menu, or maybe we'll make some different levels and add them to the scene as well. But once we've reached our last level and destroyed all the zombies in that level, we're going to want to pop up a game over menu and allow the user to go back to the main menu. That is why we have that if statement there, otherwise we'll just get that error. So let's see if we can destroy that. It's probably going to take a while to get rid of that zombie. Okay, and we should be able to get rid of it now. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so that is the problem. So actually, I don't know what I was going to say there, but there is definitely something wrong with. Okay, we can get rid of that. There's definitely something wrong with the position, because for these, or maybe we're spawning them at different places. Level position, no, it's the same. Maybe instead of dragging and dropping this in, we will just go ahead and get the. We'll go and get it at the start of the game. So in here, let's go level position is equal to game object dot find object with tag, and we will probably have to add in a new tag. So let's go and call this level reference, maybe level, what do we call it, level location tag. I don't know, anything you want, it's just like a reference. So let's go ahead and create that. So read only string level location tag is equal to level location tag. We'll get rid of the tag and we'll just say level location. And then let's go ahead, copy that so we don't make an error when we type it in here. So let's go ahead and add in this tag to our level position. Okay, so we've already done that. And okay, so currently it has a level position, so we'll just go ahead and change that on here. So we'll change location to position, just like that. So that's fine. So let's go ahead and see if this actually makes any difference. So we'll save that, and then we'll jump back into our game and let us have a look and see. So let's play a game, and hopefully we should see our first level. Okay, so our first level still gets instantiated at the same place, and our second level will also still be instantiated at the same place. Okay, so that is something we need to have a look and figure out. So I don't know, let's see. Let's go back and Google it. Game object with 0, position not being in the center. So that's the problem we have. I'm guessing that your children objects are far from the 0 of the parent, but that's the thing. It's not under anything other than the game scene. So therefore, it should be set to. It should be set, or it should instantiate in the right place. Have you seen reset option inspector under each component you attached? Move your child, okay. Therefore when you put the big object on 000, everything seems at the wrong place. So maybe check again the coordinates of each children and make sure they are where they are supposed to be relative to the 00 of the parent. For example, if the child object is at 220, then even if you put the parent object at 000, your child object will not be at the center. Yeah, I understand that, but the problem is object transform dot position equals object dot transform parent. The problem is we don't have that problem because our level position is not a child of anything but the entire scene. So if let's see, let's try open level 1, level 2. Oh, maybe that's why. Let's go ahead and reset the position of all our levels and see. Reset that and maybe that works because they were at different values. So maybe I think this actually worked. So let's see if we destroy. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that again. But if we destroy our first level, no, still not. That's weird. Level 2. Let us go back to here. Let's reset that and see if this actually gets spawned in the middle here, or first level. Still doing the exact same thing. So let's see, game manager, update, load. Let's just go in here and try something different. We'll say private void get level position, and then we will put this in here. Then at the start we will call our get level position function so that we can get that, and then just before we instantiate our new level, we will go ahead and get the level position again, just so that it stays at the same values. Why am I putting the wrong code on? Okay, so we'll save that. We'll jump back in. This is probably not going to work, but I just want to see if it does actually do anything different. But I'm not expecting it to do anything different. Let's just go ahead and see. So if we play our game, hopefully, okay, so our first level, no, nothing different. So that was a complete waste of time, so let's go ahead and delete that. Get rid of that, and we will put back this over there, and then we will have, well, I will probably have to go and try and figure out why this is not being spawned in the right position. Okay, so for now let's just go to where is it? GitHub. Let's go to GitHub and we will commit this. So let's go ahead and say, what did we do? We did skull improvements. What else did we do? Let's have a look. Skull improvements and I don't think, let's just do skull improvements. So added in a new skull when added in new skull after launch and repositioned the camera to focus on the new skull after collision. So we added in a new skull after launch, and then we also relocated the camera to the new skull after all of our collisions. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some research into how to fix that issue of our levels being spawned in different locations. I have had this problem in the past, so I'll probably just jump into some of my previous projects and see. But for now, I think that's it for this episode. So I think we should only have one episode left, depending on how long it takes. Or all we need to do is just fix the level location, and then also work on the UI, adding in like the score UI in the top, and the score, the lives, and we also need to work on the game menus. So we will probably have to split that into 2 episodes, but we'll see how long it takes us. But for now, yeah, that's it for this episode. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. If you did enjoy these videos, please do go ahead and give them a like and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.